Okay, right. I explained why I was getting confused in the previous video. The reason was I was using 3, right, and not 4. Three is an odd number. So what I was doing, I was rotating my arrangement. Now let's put this on. Right, this is waxed now, so it slips really easily. Now, because I was using 3, it's an odd number, and I was flipping my magnets over on each cycle to simulate the rotor going around. Well, obviously, when I was going between that one, going around to the third one, these two are the same, right? These two are the same. So I was flipping the magnet round when I should have, at that point, I should have left it on, at that point, you know, my biasing magnet, and left it until I got past that one, then flipped it over. That's why I was getting confused, and then it was sticking, and everyone was thinking, my device doesn't work. It's because I was making a mistake. Right, so let's put this back on. Right, this is my device. Concentric. There's 2 concentrics in there, and there's my configuration. The laminations are set back a bit, so there's less magnetic drag. Let's put this on there. Now, what's important, right, is right, we'll stick this on the table. Oh, it's going to slip even worse on there. Oh, there's always something. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to put my towel, because it won't slip as much on there. I'm going to stick a towel on here. Oops. Right, hang on a minute. Bear with me. Oops. Everything's falling down here. Right, now that it shouldn't slip now. That's better. Okay, a much better demonstration now. So let's start from the beginning. Right, we're going to go to a null spot where there's no magnets down here, right? Right, the lens effect basically is when there's an equal opposite reaction. An equal opposite reaction is when the magnet is pushing on something, right? That's pushing on that right now, look. Because I'll show you what I mean. If I flip it around, that end's pulling. You can see that. Alright. Okay. The dimpled end is pulling on the end one. So the one on this end should be pushing. Yeah, it is. So we're not going to get a sink anymore. I didn't want to put them all in yet, you see. Right, so this one's pushing. Right, so basically when this is in this position here, right, my concentric's not fixed on, the top one isn't fixed on. We should have a, where's my screwdriver gone? We should have a very strong magnetic field on there because we've got 2 magnetic fields pushing against each other, but it's not actually pushing away from this magnet. So the lens effect is being negated. Look at that. It's not pulling. Look, I'm moving my finger. It's not pushing, it's not pulling. Take the magnet off. Right, magnet's off. Well, no difference. Right? No difference at all. But we have biasing. Well, it's on, right? Not very much because it's not fully over the top. Now it's on. That's better. Okay, right. Gauge. Have I got the right one? I've got the wrong one as usual. Get one of the gauges. Right. Okay, watching. Which is the right one? That's the wrong one. Are you watching? Right, look, it's pulling it down, look. That's a strong field. On that's on. So that's activated, right? When I move it away, it will deactivate. Oops, let's just keep going a bit. Right, it should be deactivated now. There's a bit of gravity on this thing. Right. We need to go towards the other pole actually, then you'll see it lift up. There you go. That's the other pole down here. Right, you see it lifting right up. Right, so it's pushing it away now, look. As we come towards it, it's pulling it down. So we're on the other pole. But there's very, very little drag. I mean, I can't feel it. It actually pulls itself towards this one, which is a good thing, because we want it to accelerate. We want the rotor to accelerate. We don't want it slowing down, and that's what that will do. Right, take that gauge. I'll just take that gauge off. I'll put both of them down there. So when it's rotating, right, I'll move that out of the way a minute. The opposite effect is that one, right, the bottom end, because I can't get near it. Right, so when that is pushing on there, oops, it pulls to that one, right, this other magnet, because it's attracted to there. But this assembly here is currently off. There is no magnetic flux on it at all. Look. It's off, right? But it's on when it's over that one, right? Watch. It's on, but it's not dragging on the rotor, look. Right? It's already pulled back to this one, this other magnet over here. But at this point, when we're directly above, we are pushing, remember, on this magnet, on the rotor magnet. That's the opposite effect, you know, the equal and opposite reaction. That is when we get the equal opposite reaction, we have a negated effect on the rotor through this concentric assembly. Yeah, look, it's isolating it. I mean, if I put the magnet directly on the rotor, I can't get near it unless I flip the magnet around, like that. Okay? Because this is pushing. Now that would normally, if I do this, look, it pushes the rotor away. Look, hey, what? I've moved it. I've moved it now. Hang on. Just a minute. Magnets. Right. Let's move this out of the way. Now look. Watch. It's pushing the rotor away, right? That is. Turn it round again. That's the dimple. That's the flat end, sorry. The flat end is pushing the rotor away. It's hard to hold it still. Okay, so it's pushing the rotor, but when it's on here, it's pulled to this one, okay? But it's not pushing on that one, because we just put it just past it, look. Nothing there, look. Right? Nothing there at all, right? So, what we do is you flip it over now, like that. It's actually homing in on that one. This is for the next cycle, which is over here, because these are empty, the vacant spots. We'll come around, it should pull towards that magnet. Back off a bit. I'll just use, where's my plastic thing gone? There you are. Right. If I've got this right way around to start with, it should pull and accelerate towards this one. No, I've got it the wrong way around, haven't I? Yeah, I've got it the wrong way around. Yeah, I've started off on the wrong foot again, but that's actually on right now. Okay, so, ouch. Let's get it right way around so we can accelerate. That's when it's on, right? Okay, so it's accelerating. Now, the way it works is the rotor's turning around, the magnets are rotating. Well, the magnets are rotating, but in this case, I'm just moving the coil. That's why I'm getting so mixed up. So the coil's moving towards the rotor, and the rotor's moving towards the coil, I should say, right? Now, initially, there's no energized field in these things at all. When they're over here, when they're packed over here, right, there's nothing on there, look. It's dead, right? Nothing at all. Until it's turned on. So the magnets are biasing. It's coming around. Nothing. Now the reason I'm biasing it is because that is the opposite effect. That is the opposite feel that we would get when the lens is active, right? So as soon as the coil that's on the top, that's going to be on the top, we're going to have coils on here, right? Okay, coil. So when that coil is basically taking power out, it's going to push back, right? And that reverse feel that's pushing back is being simulated by this magnet, because we can't, obviously, I could wire it up I suppose, but then you wouldn't see what was going on. It's easy to show you with a magnet. So this is pushing, right? So as this coil approaches, and then we get to the apex of the waveform, it gets here, and at that point we have a maximum pulse, right? And that's when we have the lens effect, in effect, coming into effect, right? What's happening? There is no drag. It doesn't even know it's there, right? But this is on, look. Whoops, wrong magnet. Right, it's on there. I'm sticking to that other magnet as well. Right, so as it passes, the apex of the waveform drops down, and as it's dropping, the actual lens effect starts to reverse to the other pole, right? As it reverses to the other pole, we are approaching this other magnet array now. Down here, it actually wants to pull back to that one now because I've gone a bit past the. I've got other magnets underneath as well to offset to keep a slow, gradual fall time. So the fall time's actually slower. If you watch the early videos, you'll know what I'm talking about. So anyway, when we get to this magnet, once we get the point past the apex of this other magnetic field, right, it jumps forward towards the next magnet, which is what we want. We want it to accelerate towards the next magnet array, which is right under there, right? And as it does that, there is absolutely nothing there. So if there's nothing there, we can't have a lens effect. So I'll flip this over, right? Now we're accelerating towards the next magnet array. That, as you can see, it jumps to the next magnet array. At that point, the field collapses. The lens reverses to the other pole, which is that one. And it's gone back to, it's pulling back to this one because we've gone past it. So we don't want to go backwards, we want to go forwards. Because once we're past the apex, it's not going to pull it back anyway. Once you're up to that apex point. And there is no effect on this particular magnet, but it will pull back towards that one. Okay? So we've gone past it. I use my little plastic thingy, but right, it will pull towards this other magnet down here because it's actually turning it on there. It's actually attracted to that one. Now, the lens effect, that is on. Oops, it's gone back to this one where it's actually off. Look, it's off there. So it can't possibly go back there because there's no field. And it's the only reason there's a field is because I've got these frigging magnets on it. So if I take the magnets off, it won't go back, you see. Right, it's only going back because I'm simulating the lens effect, and the lens effect is only present at the apex of the waveform at this point. Right, so now we go back to the next magnet, we go around to the other cycle, which is over here because these are gaps, there's no magnets in any of these. So let's go around to the starting point, and we should see it accelerate. We should see it, actually, it won't accelerate because I've got it right. But it won't slow down either. Once we get to this apex of that waveform, we travel on, and then it will jump to this one. The lens field collapses. Right, we're on the other apex. We'll continue going around. It jumps towards the next one, at which point there's no magnetic field on there again, so there can't be any lens effect. So the magnets shouldn't be there. So I turn it around, which is what you would expect as we're actually traveling towards the next field. And it accelerates. there's no length effect on there anymore because that's dead. Nothing on it at all. Look. Even with magnets biasing it, look. Flip the magnets around because we're actually on the next cycle again. And we're approaching the start again. Coming around. There we go. Accelerates towards it. At which point the field collapses. So on and so on and so on and so on. So what I'm showing you here is we will get some acceleration in the rotors, but we won't actually get reverse drag. Because these rotors are going like, will be going at something like 700 RPM. So the only reason it's going backwards is because I'm not past the apex, the center point. I'm not turning it far enough, that's the only reason. But once you're past that point, I think this one should be, I should have flipped that one, I forgot to. Right, there, it's going up to it. That is the, well, it pulls towards it, but there's no field on here, look. So I'm artificially inducing a length effect which shouldn't be there right now. So, right, we flip the field again. Next one, there. Caught my finger in it then. Okay, I think I've demonstrated it properly. And the only reason I was mixed up earlier is because I was using 3 magnets and it's an odd number, and I was flipping it over after the 3rd magnet, and I should have left it because the 3rd magnet and the 1st magnet are both the same pole. Yeah.